looking at decimals, and more specifically, we're going to start by looking at place value. You've looked at place value before and decimals, but we're kind of putting it together and reviewing some things. So first, decimals are with whole numbers to create numbers that have a whole number and a part. For example, the number 2.5, you have a whole number, which is 2, but you also have 0.5, which is the same as half. So this is actually 2.5. It's larger than 2, but smaller than 3. So that's what this decimal does, is it creates numbers that are in between the integers you already know. So if you look at place value, you learned in elementary school that the first place value here is ones, the next one is tens, and then it's hundreds, all the way out, and you should know these all the way through millions. So as you can see here, this is labeled all the way through millions. It should be ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, then millions. Well, we do the same thing now, is in the ones place. And on the other side of the decimal, we begin with tenths. And notice it's not tens. I very specifically made that because it's tenths. So after tenths is hundredths. And if you pay attention, you're going to notice a pattern. The decimal places are actually in the same order as your whole number places. So it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So the 7 is in the 10,000ths. The only difference is we're adding the th on the end. So they're actually in the same order as what you already know. So this 9 is going to be in the 100,000ths. Now the only difference when we look at these in the order is that on the other side of the decimal there is a ones. After the ones, they go tenths, hundreds, thousands, so on, and these go tenths, hundreds, thousands, and so on. So they're in the same order except in the opposite direction, and we're adding the th to show that these are pieces of a whole. They're not actually a whole number. Okay, so let's look at this example. You're going to write it in your notes tonight. So it says 230.5468. We actually read that by the last number. So it ends at the 8, so this is tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So we would read it 230 and, because the decimal is always and, 230 and 5,468 10,000ths. So I read that just like it were a number, 5,468, and then I state what the last place value was, which is 10,000ths. So one more time, let's read that. 230 and 5,468 10,000ths. Okay, so now let's look at the questions I want you to put in your notes. First, which digit is in the ones place? Okay, once you have that, which digit is in the tenths place? Which digit is in the hundredths place? Which digit is in the thousandths place? And which digit is in the 10,000ths place? And all you have to do as the example part of your notes is you can either write the number and label the places, or you can number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and put the answer to each of these questions along with the number that you're basing your answers on. If you need to go back, remember you can rewind, you can pause at any time to make sure you understand this, and be ready to assess it first thing tomorrow, and then we'll plan our day's activities.